Welcome to The Explainer. You know, we spend so much time looking up at the stars, dreaming about alien worlds, but we actually have a totally alien universe right here on our own planet. It's hiding in the cold, crushing dark of the abyss. The ocean is absolutely Earth's last great frontier. And today we're diving deep into those depths to uncover the 10 most mysterious ocean creatures that actually exist. We're going to break down exactly where they live, how massive they get, and the absolutely wild, sci-fi level adaptations they've developed just to survive down there. More than 80% of the ocean remains unexplored. What hides in the deep? Seriously, it's wild to think about. More than 80% of our global ocean is just unmapped, unobserved, a complete mystery. With all our crazy advanced technology, the vast majority of our underwater world is totally unknown to us. Down there, the pressure is immense, the temperatures are freezing, and it is pitch black. But life finds a way. The creatures hiding in the deep are so bizarre, so perfectly adapted to this extreme environment, that they honestly seem practically impossible. So let's get right into it. We're starting a countdown that's going to take us deeper and deeper into this hidden world.
Number 10. Kicking off our countdown at the number 10 spot, we have a creature you've probably seen on the internet. It got super famous a few years ago, but, well, usually for all the wrong reasons. Get ready for the incredibly unique and highly misunderstood Blobfish.
Here is a quick stat card comparing our number 10 blobfish and our number 9 comb jelly, looking at their habitat, depth, size, and adaptations. So taking our number 10 spot, the blobfish thrives in the deep waters off the coasts of Australia and New Zealand, living at literally crushing depths between 600 and 1,200 meters. Now they're relatively small, only about 30 centimeters in length, but their adaptation, that's what's truly fascinating here. See, the blobfish's body is basically just a gelatinous mass with a density that's slightly less than water. Why? Well, at those extreme depths, a normal gas-filled swim bladder would just be completely crushed. So this jelly-like body lets them effortlessly float just above the seafloor without wasting any energy. And here's a totally wild detail. The blobfish only looks like a sad, melting blob when it gets dragged all the way up to the surface. Down in its high-pressure home, it actually looks like a perfectly normal fish. Okay, moving down to number 9, we have the mesmerizing comb jelly. These ethereal little creatures can be found in oceans worldwide, from the very surface all the way down to a staggering 7,000 meters. They can be anywhere from a few tiny millimeters to a massive 1.5 meters long. Their most unique adaptation? Their combs. These are rows of tiny cilia that they beat just to propel themselves through the water. That actually makes them the largest animals on Earth to swim using cilia. Oh, and even though they look a lot like jellyfish, you might be amazed to learn they don't have any stinging tentacles at all. No, they capture their prey using sticky cells instead.
Comb jelly bioluminescence, emitting light to survive the pitch-black abyss. So that lack of stinging tentacles actually brings us to one of the most stunning phenomena in the entire ocean, bioluminescence. Down in the pitch-black abyss, where sunlight just literally cannot penetrate, the comb jelly makes its own light. As those tiny cilia beat against the water, they diffract the light, which produces this breathtaking, pulsating rainbow of colors running down their bodies like tiny neon signs. It is gorgeous. But it's not just for show. Emitting light in the deep ocean is a totally crucial survival mechanism. They use it to startle predators, communicate, or even camouflage themselves against the faint bits of light filtering down from way above.
Number 8. As we continue our descent down into the twilight zone, things are definitely starting to get even more bizarre. Coming in at number 8 on our countdown is arguably one of the most alien-looking vertebrates on the planet, the Barreleye fish.
Number 8. The Barreleye fish. Unbelievable deep-sea adaptations and surprising facts. This fish is a true marvel of evolution. It lives down in the twilight zone of the ocean, just hovering motionless at depths of 600 to 800 meters. They're quite small, usually measuring around 15 centimeters or so, but the adaptations here, unbelievable. The Barreleye actually has a completely transparent, fluid-filled dome on the top of its head, and inside that dome are 2 large, barrel-shaped, glowing green eyes. I know it sounds made up, but it's real. Because they live in a world where light is so incredibly scarce, these highly specialized eyes point directly upward. This lets them spot the faint silhouettes of prey swimming above them, contrasted against the tiny amount of sunlight trickling down. And here is the part that truly blew my mind. For years, scientists assumed this fish could only look straight up. But it turns out, when the Barreleye spots a meal and moves in to eat it, it can completely rotate those tubular eyes inside its transparent head so it can look forward. How wild is that?
Next up is a stat card for our mid-tier predators, the number 7 Goblin Shark and number 6 Frilled Shark, showing their habitat, depth, and size. As we sink even deeper into the realm of mid-tier deep-sea predators, we run into our number 7, the Goblin Shark, and our number 6, the Frilled Shark. Both of these are ancient predators that just patrol the dark, freezing waters. The Goblin Shark likes to hug the slopes of seamounts and continental shelves at depths between 270 and 1,300 meters. The Frilled Shark also favors the outer continental shelf, though you usually find it a bit shallower, between 50 and 200 meters, but they absolutely can dive much deeper. And in terms of size, these are serious predators. The Goblin Shark can grow to a massive 3 to 4 meters in length, while the serpentine Frilled Shark can reach lengths of up to 2 meters.
Comparing the unique adaptations and surprising facts of the Goblin Shark versus the Frilled Shark. Okay, let's dive into this. The adaptations of these two sharks are frankly like something straight out of a horror movie. Let's look at the Goblin Shark first. It has this long, flattened, blade-like snout, and it is packed with special organs that can actually sense the weak electric fields given off by other animals. When it senses prey in the pitch black, its entire jaw rapidly thrusts forward, literally out of its mouth like a slingshot to snatch its meal. It is terrifying to watch. And what makes it even crazier is that this feeding mechanism makes it a true living fossil. It represents a lineage that stretches back 125 million years. On the other hand, the Frilled Shark looks way more like a dark, prehistoric eel than a modern shark. Its big, unique adaptation is its terrifying mouth. It has 300 trident-shaped teeth perfectly arranged in 25 neat rows. They are specifically designed to grab onto slippery, soft-bodied prey like squid and just never let go. And as for a surprising fact about the Frilled Shark, you might be shocked to hear that it has one of the longest gestation periods of any vertebrate on Earth. A female can actually carry her young for up to 3.5 years before giving birth. 3.5 years!
Number 5. We are now entering the midnight zone. This is a place of total, absolute darkness and immense, crushing pressure. And it's right here that we find our number 5 creature. It's a predator so uniquely adapted to the darkness, it generates its own built-in night vision. Meet the deep sea dragonfish. Number 5, the deep sea dragonfish, a terrifying marvel of the abyss. This creature is just a marvel that roams the deep ocean somewhere between 1,000 and 3,000 meters down. Now, despite its completely monstrous appearance, this fish is actually surprisingly small, usually only measuring between 15 to 25 centimeters long. Think about the size of a ruler. But what it lacks in size, it completely makes up for with extraordinary adaptations. The dragonfish has this long, bioluminescent barbel, which is basically a glowing fleshy extension hanging right from its chin. It uses it like a lure to bring unsuspecting prey right to its face in the pitch black. But here is the most astonishing part about this stealthy little predator. To make absolutely sure its incoming prey isn't startled away at the last second, the dragonfish's massive, fang-like teeth are completely transparent. They scatter light so effectively that the teeth practically disappear in the water. It turns the fish into a totally stealthy, invisible trap. Here's a stat card for the deep-sea legends, the number 4 Anglerfish and number 3 Oarfish, covering their habitat, depth, and size. Descending even further down, we encounter the true legends of the deep. Here's our number 4, the Anglerfish, and our number 3, the Oarfish. So, the anglerfish resides way down in the bathypelagic zone, hunting the depths between 1,000 and an incredible 4,000 meters. The females, which by the way are the iconic scary ones usually seen in pictures, grow to about 20 centimeters. Conversely, the oarfish is just a giant. It navigates the pelagic zone, usually sitting between 200 and 1,000 meters deep, and the oarfish actually holds the record as the longest bony fish alive today. They can reach unbelievable lengths of 8 to 11 meters, that is roughly the size of a school bus.
And this brilliantly illustrates how wildly different survival strategies can be out there in the ocean. Let's look at the anglerfish first. Kind of like the dragonfish, females have a bioluminescent lure on their head, called an esca, to attract prey straight into their massive cavernous mouths. But the absolute most bizarre part about them is their reproduction. The males are incredibly tiny, and get this, they lack a digestive system. When a male finally finds a female in the dark, he bites into her, releases an enzyme that literally melts their tissues together, and permanently fuses to her body. He basically acts as a parasitic mate for the rest of his life. Wild, right? Then we have the oarfish, with its massive, shimmering, ribbon-like body. Its big, unique adaptation is that when it's threatened or injured, it can perform autonomy. This means it can voluntarily amputate the back half of its very own body just to escape predators and survive. As for a fun fact about the oarfish, Because they are so incredibly massive, so weird-looking, and because they occasionally wash up on beaches after big storms, scientists actually believe they are the primary source of all those ancient sailors' tales about giant, terrifying sea serpents. Number 2. All right, we are almost at the bottom of our countdown, and the tension is really building. Sitting at number 2, we have a creature with a name that definitely strikes fear, but whose reality is actually one of the most fascinating evolutionary stories on Earth. Welcome to the strange world of the vampire squid. Number 2, the vampire squid, the mysterious phantom of the deep. So, the vampire squid, or Vampirotheutis infernalis, which literally translates to vampire squid from hell, is a true phantom of the deep. They live in a very specific, harsh habitat called the oxygen minimum zone, usually sitting around 600 to 900 meters deep. Down there, oxygen levels are so ridiculously low that almost no other complex life can even survive. They're fairly modest in size, growing to about 30 centimeters, but their most stunning adaptation is this webbing of skin that connects their 8 arms. When it feels threatened, the vampire squid will pull this webbing over itself inside out. It creates this defensive cloak lined with fleshy, tooth-like spikes called suri to scare off predators. But despite its terrifying name and that scary-looking cloak, it might shock you to know that this squid is incredibly docile. It doesn't hunt live prey, and it definitely doesn't suck blood. Instead, it just gently feeds on marine snow, which is the dead organic material and tiny debris that constantly drifts down from the upper layers of the ocean.
Number 1. And now we reach the grand climax of our explainer, the ultimate deep-sea mystery, the undisputed titan of the abyss, the creature that has literally inspired myths, legends, and nightmares for centuries. Our number 1 spot goes to the one, the only, giant squid.
The crown jewel, the number 1 giant squid, looking at its habitat, depth, size, and adaptations. The giant squid is absolutely the undisputed crown jewel of ocean mysteries. They inhabit the deep, frigid waters of all the world's oceans, typically roaming at depths of 300 to 1,000 meters. Their size is legendary. If you include their massive feeding tentacles, they can reach a staggering 12 to 13 meters in length, and their adaptations are perfectly scaled to match that monstrous size. For one, they possess the largest eyes in the entire animal kingdom. We're talking eyes roughly the size of dinner plates. These massive eyes allow them to detect the faint bioluminescent glow of predators, like the massive sperm whale, in the absolute darkness. They also wield 2 incredibly long feeding tentacles, tipped with hundreds of sharp, serrated suction cups to firmly grasp their prey in the deep. The ultimate deep-sea mystery. The giant squid truly lives up to that title. For thousands of years, humanity only knew of its existence through tall tales of the kraken dragging down massive ships, or from rotting carcasses that occasionally washed ashore. We had never actually seen one alive in its natural environment. So here is the final and maybe most surprising fact of our countdown. Despite their massive size and their huge place in human folklore, it wasn't until the year 2012 that a team of scientists finally managed to film a live giant squid in its natural deep-sea habitat for the very first time. Just think about that for a second. We put humans on the moon decades before we ever saw our own ocean's greatest predator alive. That is wild. The ocean still holds countless secrets. Which mysterious creature amazed you the most? From a fish made entirely of jelly, to sharks with slingshot jaws, to squids the size of a school bus, this countdown really proves one thing. Our ocean still holds countless secrets just waiting to be uncovered in the dark. Now, I want to hear from you. Which of these mysterious creatures amazed you the most today? Drop your thoughts down in the comments. And if you want to keep exploring the incredible unknowns of our world, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to FactNova Daily for more amazing ocean facts. Until next time, keep your curiosity deep.